Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's lecture on analyzing the marketing environment and understanding business markets. I hope you are all ready to dive deep into how external factors shape marketing decisions and how businesses buy differently from consumers. Firstly, we'll talk about the marketing environment. Marketing decisions never happen in a vacuum. They are made within a specific operating environment influenced by several factors that we can divide into two main groups: internal and external factors. Internal factors include the resources and objectives of the organization, organizational purpose and strategy, and values of the top management, while external environmental factors include the social and cultural climate, economic competition, technology state, political climate, and demographics. The socio-cultural environment consists of the cultural and social structure of the countries where organizations market their products. These influences include social institutions, values, beliefs, and also behaviors. Consider how Coca-Cola Bangladesh had to adapt their marketing strategy during Ramadan. They understand that during this holy month, consumption patterns change dramatically. Therefore, instead of promoting refreshment during the day, they focus on iftar gatherings and family moments, respecting our cultural and religious values. The demographic environment comprises the size, distribution, and the composition of people and organizations. Market growth, movement, buying behavior, and segmentation by age, gender, education, marital status, and occupation must be studied. Grameenphone studies the demographic shift of Bangladesh, which is our young population with 65% is under the age of 35. We also have increased urbanization and growing female workforce participation. R&D for new products, improving manufacturing process, and developing new marketing methods. bKash has totally revolutionized financial services in Bangladesh through the mobile technology. They use technology not just for their core service, but also for marketing, like using SMS campaign, mobile apps, and digital customer service to reach customers across the country. The economic environment consists of changing patterns of government, industrial, and consumer expenditures, income levels, savings, and investment patterns. During the recent global economic challenges, companies like Pram adjusted their product portfolio. They introduced smaller pack size and much more affordable variants to match the reduced consumer spending power while also maintaining the market presence. The competitive environment includes the number, nature, and strategies of competitors and their actions and reactions. When Foodpanda entered Bangladesh, local food delivery services like Hungry Naki had to analyze this new competition and adjust their strategies accordingly by focusing on local cuisine expertise and faster delivery services in certain areas. Now, we will talk about the new marketing realities. Today, major societal forces have created new marketing behaviors, opportunities, as well as challenges. There are several forces that have reshaped how businesses operate and market their products. Network information technology has transformed how companies like Robi interact with customers through digital platforms and 4G services. Globalization allows companies like Unilever Bangladesh to operate as part of a global network while adapting products like Glow & Lovely for local preferences. Deregulation in sectors like telecommunications allowed multiple operators like Grameenphone, Robi, and Banglalink to compete, benefiting consumers with better services and pricing. Privatization of state enterprises created new market opportunities for private companies. Heightened competition is evident in the ride-sharing market, with Uber, Pathao, and Obhai competing intensely for gaining their own market share. Moreover, industry convergence sees banks like Dutch Bangla Bank now offering mobile financial services, converging with telecom services. The retail transformation challenges traditional retail through e-commerce platforms like Daraz and Chaldal. Disintermediation also allows farmers to sell directly to consumers through platforms like iFarmer through bypassing the traditional middleman. Consumer buying power has significantly increased through online price comparison tools, giving consumers much more negotiation power. Consumer information availability through social media and review platforms provides extensive product knowledge for consumers. And because of that, consumer participation sees brands like Polar Ice Cream engaging customers in flavor development through social media polls. Consumer resistance grows, particularly regarding the environmental issues, which is leading to resistance against excessive packaging. Now, we will talk about the macro environment. Firms must monitor 6 major forces in the broad environment. The demographic environment shows Bangladesh's population over 165 million, with rapid urbanization and a growing middle class, creating much more opportunities for companies like Walton to expand their home appliance market. Age distribution, educational levels, and household patterns all influence marketing strategies. The economic environment demonstrates how available purchasing power depends on current income, prices, savings, debt, and also credit availability. Rising disposable income in urban areas has led to increased demand for premium products. Square Pharmaceuticals capitalized on this by introducing higher-end healthcare products alongside their basic medicines. The socio-cultural environment also shapes our worldview and relationships. Changing lifestyle patterns, specifically among urban youth, have created opportunities for companies like Gloria Jean's Coffees to introduce coffee culture in a traditionally tea-drinking society. From this environment, we absorb values that define our own relationships to ourselves, others, organizations, society, nature, and the universe itself. The natural environment increasingly affects businesses through environmental regulations and consumer awareness. Environmental concerns have led companies like Pran to invest in eco-friendly packaging and sustainable sourcing practices for their food products. Opportunities await those who can reconcile prosperity with environmental protection. The political and legal environment consists of laws, government agencies, and pressure groups that influence organizations and individuals. Government policies support local manufacturing have benefited companies like Walton, while the regulations on pharmaceutical quality have strengthened Square Pharmaceuticals' market position. Sometimes these laws create new business opportunities, such as mandatory recycling laws increasing the recycling industry. Now we will talk about the stages in the buying process. The business buying process involves 8 distinct stages. Problem recognition begins when someone in the company recognizes a problem or a need that can be met by acquiring goods or services. This recognition can be triggered internally, such as when a machine breaks down requiring new parts, or externally, such as seeing new solutions at trade shows. For an example, a garment factory might realize their old sewing machines are breaking down frequently, affecting production quality and delivery schedules. General need description and product specification follow, where buyers determine needed item characteristics and required quantities. For complex items, buyers work with engineers and users to define characteristics like reliability, durability, or price. Our garment factory would determine they need 50 high-speed computerized sewing machines with specific stitch capabilities and reliability requirements. Supplier search involves identifying appropriate suppliers through trade directories, company contracts, trade advertisements, trade shows, and most importantly, the internet. The factory would research suppliers through these channels, visit the Dhaka International Trade Fair, and get referrals from other factories. Proposal solicitation invites qualified suppliers to submit proposals. For complex or expensive items, proposals will be written and detailed, followed by formal presentations. The factory would invite suppliers like Singer Bangladesh to submit detailed proposals including technical specifications, pricing, and service terms. Supplier selection involves the buying center specifying and ranking desired supplier attributes, often using evaluation models. The factory would evaluate proposals based on machine quality, price, local service availability, training support, and payment terms. Overcoming price pressures occurs when buying centers negotiate with preferred suppliers for better prices and terms before final selection. The factory might negotiate for better prices, extended warranties, or favorable payment terms. Performance review involves buyers periodically reviewing chosen supplier performance using various methods, including contacting end users for evaluations, rating suppliers on weighted criteria, or calculating adjusted costs, including poor performance cost. The factory would regularly evaluate machine performance, downtime, service quality, and overall satisfaction to inform future decisions. Now, we will move to the discussion of the forces influencing business relationships. Four relevant factors influence the relationship between business partners. They are the availability of alternatives, importance of supply, complexity of supply, and supply market dynamism. Based on these factors, we can classify buyer-supplier relationships into 8 categories. Basic buying and selling involves simple, routine exchanges with moderate cooperation and information exchange, like a restaurant's routine vegetable purchases from local suppliers. Bare bones relationships require more seller adaptations with less cooperation and information exchange. Contractual transactions are defined by formal contracts with low trust, cooperation, and interaction levels, such as construction companies' formal contracts with cement suppliers for specific projects. Customer supply represents traditional custom supply situations where competition rather than cooperation dominates governance. Cooperative systems unite partners operationally without structural commitment through legal means or adaptations. Collaborative exchanges involve much trust as well as commitment, leading to true partnership like Grameenphone's partnership with Huawei for network infrastructure involving deep cooperation and shared technology development. Mutually adaptive relationships see buyers and sellers making many relationship-specific adaptations without necessarily achieving strong trust or cooperation. Customer is king relationships involve close, cooperative arrangements where sellers adapt to meet consumer needs without expecting much adaptation in return, such as small suppliers adapting completely to meet Walton's specific component requirements. Now let's talk about risks and opportunism. Opportunism represents some form of cheating or undersupply relative to implicit or explicit contracts. This becomes a concern because firms must devote resources to control and monitoring that could otherwise be allocated to a more productive purpose. For an example, if a textile supplier consistently delivers lower quality fabric than specified, the garment manufacturer must invest in quality control systems and alternative supply relationships, increasing costs and complexity. Contracts may become inadequate to govern supplier transactions when supplier opportunism becomes difficult to detect, when firms make specific investments in assets they cannot use elsewhere, and when contingencies are harder to anticipate. Customers and suppliers are more likely to form joint ventures instead of simple contracts when supplier asset specificity is high. Monitoring supplier behavior is difficult and suppliers have poor reputations. Now, let's move towards the institutional and government markets. The institutional market consists of schools, hospitals, nursing homes, prisons, and other institutions that must provide goods and services to people in their care. Low budgets and captive clienteles characterize many of these organizations. When Square Pharmaceuticals sells to government hospitals, they must balance cost constraints with quality requirements. The buying objective is not profit maximization, but providing adequate healthcare within budget limitations while maintaining reputation. For examples, hospitals must decide what quality of food to buy for patients, where the objective is neither pure profit nor cost minimization alone, because poor food will cause patient complaints and hurt the hospital's reputation. Well, I sincerely hope that you have enjoyed the video. The next video will be on consumer behavior. See you soon.